Hello everybody, this is part 2 of Edward Scissor Hands. I'm going to just do a play-by-play about what's going on, and I go back and refine some of the details. His shoulder piece is just pretty much sculpted back up on after I Z-remeshed it. I'm putting some folds back into the character. You can tell that some of the details still need to be put back in. If you look at references, he's got a lot more. He's not symmetrical, he's little just random. So I'm turning off the hair. I'm putting some folds back in here. And sometimes I go from the /2 brush, but I think here I use a little bit of a, looks like inflate. So I'm not having to go back and do the back face masking, because sometimes you'll pull from behind. So I think I try to inflate it so it doesn't become an issue, and then I go back and sculpt it again. A lot of these little seams on the arm, I'm just kind of trying to give them randomness so it's not so uniform and computer generated from the retopology. Sometimes just giving some random folds and stuff will give a little bit extra character to the clothing, because it's shouldn't be perfect unless you're going for a style, like a more simplistic style. It looks like I haven't Z-remeshed yet, and so I'm over here cutting in some of the detail into his arm. His arm is a little bit bigger piece, but more folds coming back in. Switching between brushes. I have my hotkeys on my keypad. I don't know if I've already mentioned that, but since I'm left-handed, it helps that my hotkeys are with my right hand. Instead of jumping all over the keyboard, I can switch back and forth between a brush that I like on the number pad, going between 1, 2, and 3, or even the next set above that. So you can see I'm putting in some folds using the back and forth damn standard brush, and I don't know if I do the /2. I can't tell yet. Since this has been a couple weeks, I should have recorded this sooner and put the audio over it since it was still fresh in my mind. But you get busy, and back and forth, you get very little time to come back to things. I've had this sitting on my computer, and I've been meaning to record this sooner, but it's time gets away from you. But I'm back. And so right here it looks like I'm trying to add some more detail to his other straps. And I think I tried to freeze it and it didn't. I was trying to add insert loops on a already subdivided model, and I just removed the subdivisions and went from there, adding detail. When you freeze it and I need to learn that process or something, but it does a little different result than I expect. So you can see that I'm trying to get something going on his chest. I'm trying to randomize it. I was looking at references. They're all pretty random. Even I found a pretty good reference at the end of this video, or even the model after I was done. I was like, oh, I could have used that. So you got little details here and there. The little buttons, I think I need to add some more all around, and I'll probably do it in this video. There you go. The little buttons are pretty much all over him. And it's easy to do, holding put the insert mesh inside and snapping it to the scale of the brush. And fairly quick process. This is sped up, so this isn't real time, just in case you're new to this video and like, holy shit, he's going fast. It's sped up a lot. Spare you the one by oneness, kind of like putting the little topping on a cake and just putting like each little detail. But I like that reflective look. Might use that in the comp, using the reflection pass so it can give a little bit of specularity. I've been playing a lot with comps lately, and the Photoshop exporter inside of Zbrush is really cool. I really like it. Been getting some pretty good results. I should probably post something up pretty soon with that, but so doing a quick render. Boom. Getting a little closer. You can tell that he still doesn't have his hands. I believe in the middle of this video I add his hands. And getting some eyeballs in. Got those little Tim Burton eyes that just stare at you, stare into your soul. So he's got the little makeup from whenever they made him up in the movie. I don't know what part of the movie it was, but I was just like, you know what, he's got to have that little lipstick. Let's see what I'm trying to find here. Is it the /2? It is the /2. So this is where I start bringing the /2 brush, because sometimes I forget that I have it. ZBrush has it inside of their folders, and you got to dig it out. And it's a really good brush. And every time I do an update, it'll reset from the brushes and everything. So I got to bring that back in. That's something that I love. I love that brush. That brush is so fun to use on cloth or just getting those little details or skin folds. Sometimes if you can see what you want, you can do the little overfolded skin or wrinkles. And you can see on his pants, I'm starting to put a little bit more detail there. Specularity is kind of showing about what reads. And I would think that I need to start organizing my folders probably later on. If I started modeling the hedges, I wanted to put them in a scene. I like that style, cool hairstyle. I wanted to put them in a scene with 2 little dogs and have them with like standing next to him, that he trimmed them up and standing on some steps. Still working on that. I had meant to do it before Halloween, but then it was a busy month. I didn't expect it to be this busy, so it kind of got away from me. But making some time this morning to try to record and get this out there for part 2 of Edward Scissor Hands. And if you hear that noise in the background, that's one of my dogs wants to go outside. So here's some folds going in, some more folds going up. And that /2 brush makes it so easy. If you have your sensitivity set just right, it's easy. It makes it like fun to make folds. You'll get carried away though. You'll be forgetting the model and you're just like, I just want to add some more folds. And after a while, you're just doing more detailed seams and stuff. I think that's what happened on this model. I just kept going with the folds and the seams and the details. But it gives that character, kind of makes it look like he's wearing the little the leather pants. So I think this is the next video where I pause, come back, and I hope I start the hands pretty soon in this video. Let's see what it does. I'm still doing buttons, and there's nothing fancy about them. Insert mesh, I'm thinking I'm doing the low poly insert mesh spheres. That way I just put it at a depth. If you can look on the left side, you see the depth that I just kind of make it sink into the model. And that seems to work. But that's pretty much most of the process for those little buttons. I'm just going around adding buttons, chrome buttons. And you can see the buckle. He's got little rings and stuff going on. And those are pretty random too. I noticed on his belt he has a pretty detailed. I found a picture of the costume, and there's some details that I've like really like to go back and put back in. Those are like my wish list on my model. So I'm scaling down, just reusing what I've already done or already placed. There's no point in just remodeling something to go in there. But we're going inside and just adding the little details. It's what makes the model count whenever you're looking at it from a distance. It doesn't, even though you're not going to see it up close, I feel like it helps to kind of give it something. So here I'm trying to give it a little color. Paint some purple in, not so much black and white, because he's not black and white, and we give him some flesh tones. I think I exaggerated his paleness. He's not really that pale in the movie, but then again, they put makeup on him, right? For people who watch the movie. And he's got a lot of scars on his face. If I really need to go back and add the scars, because that's part of his character. He's always cutting himself in the movie, and then they put that medicine back on him or whatever. So here we are fixing the legs and the boot, trying to add some details. I was gonna use this to add the what do you call it, the belts, and just scale them up, and there you go, boom, and then subdivide them in mirror weld, and then you only have to do it once. So I wasn't happy with the way it looked. I wanted it to be a little bit more longer, just to shorter, and I go back and redo this. And I think I extracted it or something. I don't remember how I got that piece, but I did. And then this is just to add edge loop so that it's a little more defined on the belt. And inflating, looks like. And then probably only do it to one leg. I don't know. Let's see. It's been a while since I've watched my video. And I meant to come back sooner. So just reusing parts. Just using the gizmo and holding, I don't know if it's Alt or Control. I think it's Alt drag. It could be Control drag too. But it does a duplicate of it. And as long as it's masked off. I don't have Zbrush open, or I'd check real quick. But yeah, that's how pretty much I'm getting in here. He's got that big head, kind of a caricature light version of him. And so this looks like the start of the scissors. And I'm just using basic primitives inside of Zbrush to get the shape. And the scissors aren't anything fancy. They're just pretty much low poly and extruded parts. So you'll see right here that all I'm doing is just dropping down the polygon count, Z modeler, and pushing and pulling the parts and making scissors. And I have a reference for what I was looking at, and I wanted it to be kind of caricature style model, so this isn't going to be a detailed version of scissors. You just want to get the idea that he's got scissors on his hands. And I noticed on the references that he's got kind of a little different scissors each hand, but in this version we just want to give you the idea that it's there. And so these are polygons sliced and modified, pushed and pulled using the mask, insert edge loop, and pushing and pulling, masking off parts, scaling the bottom part to make it a little bit like a blade, but I didn't close it. I just wanted it close enough to make it look like it was scissors. I scaled it close enough to make it look like it's sharp, but it's not. I could have welded them, but we didn't go that far. I wanted it to have a little bit more definition, little angle. And right here I'm trying to play with dynamic subdivision with it too, so I'm putting extra edge loops so that it holds in there, putting them at the edges so it holds on there. Wanted it to have a little kind of a cartoony roundness to it, and going from that, more edge loops, and that's always like an old method of modeling. I could have done a little bit of more curve crease and stuff like that, but just from being used to using 3D Max and stuff like that, I would pretty much just add edge loops and go from there. So now I'm just trying to get the look of the scissor, and then once you get one, then I just mirrored it around inside of the hand to try to keep it from being I don't know if I change it too much on each one. I think I just scale them, each individual finger, and go from there. His thumb is probably the only one that's kind of unique after I put them in. But you'll see right here what I do. I pretty much imported it in. It's at a different scale, so I'll scale it down. I probably could do a uniform mesh to keep it from looking or being so dynamically different in scale, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. We're just working around it. I think I'm just trying to get the model done and not really focus too much on the details. And that's probably why my layers are so sloppy. I'm just trying to get to the finish line. And that's one finger, and then what I'm going to do is just pretty much slice his little mitten off and create like an insert area where his fingers are attached. He has a lot of little mechanical parts attached to his scissors, but I didn't add all that. I just, for simplicity and the cartoony funness of it, I didn't want to get too crazy with it. I just wanted to have fun modeling and just doing something that was playful and fun. And I wanted to get it done before Halloween. I did technically get finished. I just didn't finish this video. And adding little details with the hands, and from a distance you're not going to be able to tell what's going on there anyway. I'm just kind of pushing and pulling to make it look like it's a little more integrated with scissors. And his finger there, I'm just going to start carving in little details. And from a distance, you won't be able to tell once I put the shader on. It'll just look like it's another scissor in there. I think it's a small blade on his thumb. It's pretty cool to see the detail that they put into his outfit. So I'm kind of using the polish brush, and then I don't know if I use trim dynamic, but I'm using the damn standard right here to get the creases and making it look a little more detailed, polishing off that, because that kind of fits with the style of the caricature look. And just pushing and pulling with the snake move brush. I forget the name of it. Moves. And then we're going to add all the scissors in here, selecting them, and let's see, there you go. And just start adding. Now he looks like Freddy Krueger in a way, but you know, he's scissor hands. So once I start randomizing the fingers, it doesn't look so Freddy-ish. But and so I don't know, I duplicated it because I had it on the, I didn't have it active symmetry turned on. So I try to look at him. He's doing the punk rock 2 fingers out. So, and I guess I flip back and forth. So let's see. So I wanted the scissors kind of open and close, and I think I turn off half of the scissor or get rid of half of the. Let's see. Yeah, delete hidden cap holes, and now you got like a scissor kind of back and forth, so it's not so repetitive. I wanted it to be kind of random too. And he's got maybe 2 of the scissor hooks on the loops on there to tell that they're scissors. And getting pretty close to where I need to be on this model. Moving stuff around, and really if you look at it, there's nothing really technical about this. It's just pretty much putting in the time to put each piece in. Each piece is just kind of back and forth. I think the longest I spent on the model was on his hair, and his hair was probably a little more tricky than I thought it was gonna be. So, but that's just my learning with the hair. I don't often use the hair in ZBrush, and so I probably need to sit down and do a lot more testing. But yeah, this is most of the model. This is probably Mr. Probably where you know, I kind of get pretty close to the end, and then I'm looking at it. I don't think did I make it symmetrical? No. I look at the hands. I'm like, wait a second. So I'm like, that hand's different than the other hand, and so I do mirror the symmetry over. Boom. I think I didn't notice that I didn't have it turned on, and I started modeling again. But you can see he's got little hands, and if you zoom out, you can kind of get the Edward Scissor Hands feeling from him, not so much Edward Mitt Hands. And there's some more like little screws and bolts that he had on his hands and stuff that I noticed. So insert mesh, always your friend. And snap to it and flatten it down, make a little home for that, and you kind of got like the little gears and stuff. It doesn't take much. You just want to make it interesting enough to make it feel like it's working, you know. And right now I'm just copy paste and just using what you got. These are simple geometry shapes that you can use, and they help. And then when you look at the model from a distance, it reads. You just want that. You want it to read. It's nothing really thought out. It's just a fun fun way of modeling. It's almost I guess you could call it kit bashing in a way, but not. It's still pretty fun. This was a fun model. I hope it made sense what I talked about on this video. And yeah, that's pretty much most of it. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you for watching. And hopefully I'll put up a new video with the rest of the scene soon if things don't get busy again. So, thank you for watching.